Well, hello there, my friends. This is Craig, and welcome to my channel, The Atheist Experiment. I see some of you are still sending me books and links and endless paragraphs from Scripture. I don't know why you're doing that. I mean, I've said I'm not going to read it, so if you want to waste your time, be my guest. Engage me in conversation, love that. And I had a couple of people who have, and it's been a really nice conversation I've had with some people. But if you're just going to pound out Scripture, pound it somewhere else. I'm not interested. Thank you. Give you a little bit of an update on where I am physically with my cancer treatments. It's Wednesday now. I had heavy dose of chemo on Monday, and I really haven't been feeling well since Sunday. There's been a constant state of nausea and headache. The fatigue is unbearable. It's just an effort to stand up, really. But I had a moment right now where I felt like I was feeling a little better, so I thought I'd try and get this video out. Would like to do at least a couple of videos a week if I can, if I'm feeling up to it. So I'm not too bad right now, and we'll just see how it goes. I want to talk about some childhood dreams and night terrors I had when I was little. And then I want to connect that somehow to a dream I had 2 years ago. And then maybe talk about how religion played its role in all of that. So, when I was little, I had night terrors, and they were terrifying. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know if other children have gone through the same thing I did. Maybe it's typical. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I wouldn't call them nightmares. I would call them night terrors, because it was really exasperating for me as a child. So one of the things I used to see was a little boy running in and out of my room several times a night. And these were recurring dreams. They would happen frequently. And at a period of time when I was around the age of 10 to 12, so old enough to start to really understand my religion and understand my world around me. You know, I was not a small child by any means. I was, on the cusp of becoming a teenager by the time I was 12. So, and this is about the period of time it went on. And for some reason, that little boy running in and out of my room was absolutely terrifying. And it was one of those things where I would try and scream and no sound came out, and I was frozen in the bed and I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed to run to anybody to let them know that I was afraid. So I would just stay in my bed. My parents never knew any of this, and I never told them, and I don't really know why I never told them any of this. Maybe it was me protecting them. Maybe I was just too afraid to talk about how I felt about it. I don't know. Can't really say. So that was one thing. Another dream I used to have repeatedly was, and this would be after I was already scared, and I would be covered up under the blankets, and I'd have the blankets pulled over my head. And I would see this red skeleton hand just kind of waving like this over my face. And I would close my eyes and it would still be there, and it was under the sheets, so it was complete blackness, but I could see this red skeleton hand. And again, just frozen with fear and couldn't scream or move or do anything about it. I just had to, I keep trying to wake myself up and wake myself up, and I thought I would wake up, and then there it is again. I'm not awake yet. So these kinds of dreams happen to me pretty regularly for 2 or 3 years. Another experience I had in that same house was it's almost, you might equate it to an alien experience, because a super bright light would shine in my window and light up the whole room like it was daytime, and there would be a low humming sound. And again, it felt like a night terror again. And when I was a child, I didn't call it a night terror. I started calling it that when I learned more about things like sleep paralysis and night terrors. And I sure wish when I was a child I would have known those things then. I don't know if it would have helped. But I kind of feel like it might have. If somebody, first of all, it's my fault because I didn't talk to anybody about it. Nobody knew what was going on. So it's not like I was having these problems and telling everybody and nobody was helping me. I was taking it on myself. And but I wish I had that knowledge when I was a child. I think it might have helped me to understand what was going on if someone was able to explain to me what a night terror was and what sleep paralysis was, and how the mind plays tricks on you. Something scientific that would have eased my mind. Maybe I don't know if it would have helped. So those were some terrible years of sleeping, for sure. And then I kind of went the rest of my life with less sleeping issues as far as dreams go. I still experienced sleep paralysis all through my 20s, but I started to learn about it and understand what it was, and it was as terrifying as it was in the moment when it was happening. I seemed to be able to get over it better. And by the time I was in my 30s, I never had sleep paralysis very often, if hardly ever. And now at this point, I don't remember the last time I had a sleep paralysis dream. It's been a long, long time, probably 20 years. So then I had something really strange happen 2 years ago, because I went from having a lot of dreams in my life, and then into my 30s and 40s, the dreams dissipated to none. And now, regularly, I don't dream. Or if I do, I don't remember it. There is some evidence that you still dream, but it's said that you don't remember a dream unless you wake up during it, something like that. It's neither here nor there. For all intents and purposes, as far as I can tell, I don't dream. And I don't dream, and I haven't dreamed in a couple years, and I've rarely ever dreamed in the last 20 years. It's went from a lot of dreams to 0 dreams. So what happened to me 2 years ago was very unusual, because I normally don't dream. But I'll tell you how it went and how it felt to me, and then you can determine for yourself if it was a dream or if it was something else. So I was in bed, sleeping, and I guess I started to dream. But that dream very quickly, like only in a few seconds, turned into something that felt different than a dream. And what it was I was walking into my grandmother's room in Newfoundland, and she had already been passed for quite a few years at this point. So she was just a memory to me at that point. And so I was stepping into her room, and she started screaming a blood-curdling scream, which turned into my scream somehow. They melted together, and it just, as she was screaming, I was screaming, and I physically launched off the bed towards my partner and wrapped arms and legs around her, squeezing her almost to death because I was so scared. And I screamed out loud in the bedroom when I made this maneuver. And I was terrified. I thought my dead grandmother was in the room with me. And it's probably the most intense feeling of any kind I've ever had in my entire life, including those night terrors as a child. You know, at the time I was 48 years old. I'm a grown man, and I'm grasping onto my partner and scared to turn around, and I'm just so terrified. It felt so real, like she was there watching me. I have no idea what all this means, or if it means anything. So I actually had to leave the bedroom and go into a different room because I was so scared she was still in there with me in my partner's and my bedroom. So I left that room, and my partner came with me and sat with me, and I was shaking and on the verge of sobbing. It was just a terrifying, terrifying experience. I don't know if it was her trying to reach out to me in some way. And the feeling stuck with me for a really long time. Like, it's still with me now. Occasionally now, I go into my bedroom and I look into the corner where I think she's standing, and I get chills. And I'm a grown man, you know, I'm 50 years old now, and I'm having this silly, unjustified fear of this single spot in my bedroom near the closet. So it took me a long time to get over it. I couldn't even go to bed the next night. I was so scared. I had to ask my partner to come to bed with me. How childish is that? How silly. But it's really something. Now, having an analytical mind, you know, believing in science. I hate that saying, believing in science. I shouldn't have said that. Trusting in science. I kept trying to talk myself out of whatever that experience was. I said to myself, well, you know what? Some misfiring of a synapse in my brain, you know, caused or wrote a new neural pathway in my brain so strongly and so heavily in a chemical way that it's taking a long time for that to dissipate, I guess you could say. It's, and that's what I keep telling myself even now. You know, it's just, I think of it like a scar. You know, some scars you get take a long time to heal. Some don't, if they're bad enough. And I think this was just a scar on my brain. It's a feeling, like it's scarred there into my neural network as a feeling, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's the best way that I can find to make sense of it. So science knows a lot. Science is we've discovered so much information in the last 100 years, but we're still scraping the surface of what there is to know. And I don't expect there to be any scientific answer to what I've gone through. But I do believe there is a scientific answer to what I've gone through. And even if I'm not sure what it is, I trust that the answer is there somewhere. And maybe it won't be discovered in my lifetime or the next generation's lifetime, but I think eventually we will know a lot more about the human mind. And it goes the same with the whole entire universe. You know, there's so much we know now that we didn't know 100 years ago, but we're just scraping the surface of what there is to possibly know. And that takes time. I don't expect any scientific revelations, in my lifetime about our neural network in our brains and about how to control it or fix it, or maybe shouldn't even call it broken. Maybe that's just the human condition. So the way I tie that to religion, I try to imagine if I never ever in my life was exposed to any kind of religion, and I was only exposed to truth about my surroundings, truth about the universe, truth about knowledge. Would I have viewed my childhood experiences differently? I believed I was possessed when I was a child. I had these demonic things happening in my bedroom between the ages of 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13. Definitely 10 to 12. How would I have viewed those things if I had never been exposed to religion? Fear of hell, fear of Satan, God's supposed to protect me. Where the hell was he on those nights? Would those dreams even have manifested in the way they did if I didn't know religion? Would something else? Maybe I would have dreamed of crocodiles or bunnies or who knows, whatever I was exposed to. I don't think you can dream about something you don't know, if that makes any sense. But I do think that religion played a part in making it seem a lot worse than potentially it could have been. And, we're all scarred by our experiences. We're also very healed by all of our experiences. It could go hand in hand. I don't hold anything against anybody for those experiences. Those are just the mind of an active child. And as for what happened to me 2 years ago, at that point, I already was well out of religion and confirmed as an atheist. I still had that experience, but I don't relate it to religion anymore. And I think that has helped me a lot to understand it. So this is where I think the harm of religion comes in. If religion wasn't a thing, maybe my family would have been more inclined to have more scientific things in our house. Books, thoughts, examples, more things that would be truly helpful in a situation when you don't know what's going on. And even if I was too scared to talk to them about it, maybe I would have found the resources in my own home. I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe that would have helped. But anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. I think that's enough today. I need to go and rest again. But ponder that. What do you think about, a dream being able to scar the brain in such a way, like in a neural network kind of way? And yeah, that's it for today. Oh, and please don't send me any more links to books and seminars, and please don't write me any more scripture. Thanks. Bye.
Hey there, my friends. If you enjoy my videos and you would like to see more, subscribe. And don't forget to scroll down and hit the little bell so you can get notifications. I will be putting out a video every Sunday evening, and if you like it, hit the like button. And if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you think. Catch you next time, and have a great week.